A reading from the book of Tobit. On the night of Pentecost, after I had buried the dead, I, Tobit, went into the courtyard to sleep next to the courtyard wall. My face was uncovered because of the heat. I did not know where the birds perched on the wall above me, till their warm droppings settled in my eyes, causing cataracts. I went to see some doctors for a cure, but the more they anointed my eyes with various salves, the worse the cataracts become, until I could see no more. For 4 years I was deprived of eyesight, and all my kinsmen were grieved at my condition. Ahikar, however, took care of me for 2 years until he left for Alamaeus. At that time, my wife, Anna, worked for hire at weaving cloth, the kind of work women do. When she sent back the goods to their owners, they would pay her. Late in the winter, on the 7th of Dytris, she finished the cloth and sent it back to the owners. They paid her a full salary and also gave her a young goat for the table. On entering my house, the goat began to bleat. I called to my wife and said, "Where did this goat come from? Perhaps it was stolen. Give it back to its owners. We have no right to eat stolen food." She said to me, "It was given to me as a bonus over and above my wages." Yet I would not believe her and told her to give it back to the owners. I became very angry with her over this, so she retorted, "Where are your charitable deeds now? Where are your virtue acts? See, your true character is finally showing itself." The word of the Lord. Responsorial Psalm. The heart of the just one is firm, trusting in the Lord. Blessed the man who fears the Lord, who greatly delights in his commands. His posterity shall be mighty upon the earth, and upon the generations shall be blessed. An evil report he shall not fear. His heart is firm, trusting in the Lord. His heart is steadfast, he shall not fear, till he looks down upon his foes. Lavishly he gives to the poor. His generosity shall endure forever. His horn shall be exalted in glory.
The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Mark. Some Pharisees and Herodians were sent to Jesus to ensnare him in his speech. They came and said to him, "Teacher, we know that you are a truthful man and that you are not concerned with anyone's opinion. You do not regard a person's status, but teach the way of God in accordance with the truth. Is it lawful to pay census tax to Caesar or not? Should we pay or should we not pay?" Knowing their hypocrisy, he said to them, "Why are you testing me? Bring me a denarius to look at." They brought one to him, and he said to them, "Whose image and inscription is this?" They replied to him, "Caesar's." So Jesus said to them, "Repay to Caesar what belongs to Caesar, and to God what belongs to God." They were utterly amazed at him. The Gospel of the Lord. earlier this morning when I read over the readings for the first time, I felt very sad for poor Tobin on a hot day, just trying to have a cool night's rest. Didn't work out so well for him, but a lesson to be learned. If you go sleep by a wall, cover your face while you're doing it. So that's one thing to take away. But this very important gospel that we have today, you would have thought by now that no one would attempt anymore to try to trick up Jesus, but they keep trying to do it, don't they, over and over and over again. And of course, as we know, that the Jews did not consider themselves as part of the Roman state at all. There was a constant tension about taxes to begin with, like nothing's changed today, right? There's no tension about paying taxes, right? But that still happens. But of course, there's always a background to so many things that we might miss in this particular story. So there's purification issues, first of all, and then who's carrying the coin. That's the other thing, because the Pharisees and the Herodians could not carry the coin. Even carrying the coin would make them impure, and they didn't want to have to go through ritual cleansing. So they had somebody else there, first of all, who's not even mentioned. And then Jesus doesn't say, hand me the coin. He says, show me the coin. So Jesus didn't even touch the coin. We could maybe say that because it would have made him ritually impure as well, although Jesus was never concerned about that in the long run. But he looks at it and asks this beautiful question, whose image is it? And that should have really ticked off something in the brains of these Pharisees and Herodians. They were very learned individuals, kind of scholars of the law, if you will. And it's in that word image. Whose image is this? Because the real question is, whose image are we made in? Not whose image is on the coin, but whose image are we made in? That takes us all the way back to the story of creation. And they would have known the story of creation. They knew all of that very well, because we're made in whose image? The likeness and image of God. And therein lies why Jesus responds the way that he does. Give to Caesar what is Caesar's. Governments do have to function. It takes some money to do that, okay? Basically is what he's saying. So it doesn't really offend in any way to God. It's not a sin against God to do that. But he also says what? Give to God what belongs to God. And if we're made in the image and likeness of God, we're to give ourselves to God back that same way. And that's a big challenge. I don't know that a lot of people think that we're made in the divine image because we say that the divine image I'm made in, but I'm too sinful. No, that's an act that came later because it was first and foremost. And what is God always trying to do through the course of history, through the course of time, with all the great prophets, Moses, the land, all that, is to restore us to the very beginning, to restore us. And Jesus is the one who has come to do that. Restore us to that goodness from the very beginning. And so if you ever want to trip Jesus up, good luck, is what I would say. He would always have the words, doesn't he? That's the important thing. That Jesus, as Thomas says, you always have the words of everlasting life.